son, that's word to Steve Nash. Has Jones on my raps, do drops, they relapse, spit, don't bring terror. Shine like a mirror, 5950 Black J's, new era. And I love my city, hope my city love me up. Love my city, hope my city love me up. Love my city, hope my
name is Ginz, 24-year-old MC from Mississauga, basically on pursuit of making good music. I'm here tonight with my people at Word Is Born. Probably first started rapping when I was about 16. Basically I started rapping because I was listening to a lot of music and I felt like I could relate, and I had a lot of stuff that I kind of wanted to get off of my chest, and through music I found like the accessibility of just being able to say things that I couldn't normally say as a person, and just putting it in a creative way where people were just taking it in and listening to it. Basically when I started rapping I was 16, and I was listening to a lot of like East Coast hip hop, basically a lot of artists from Queensbridge, guys like Nas, Mobb Deep. Before that I actually stemmed off a lot of Tupac, and I mean, in terms of looking up to artists, it was always just who was saying what was relative and keeping it as real as possible, and that I could pretty much relate to and listen to and feel good at the same time, get that real positive vibe from. I definitely say I have a very East Coast influenced style of rap, but at the same time, with a lot of the new generation, the way the music is these days, I mean, there's a lot of radio-friendly material, and I'd say I do relate to that as well. Like, in terms of my growth as an artist, I try to stay making that kind of music, and at the same time keeping my originality, like what I believe best represents me. So I try to just sandwich it all together and see what the outcome will be like. Basically, the songwriting process goes down like I get a beat from a certain producer, I bring it back to myself. I'm usually sitting on the computer, I open up Notepad, and I just go with whatever hits me at that moment. And then I get the rough ideas down, I get the rough rhymes down, I get the structure down for the song. I usually I just go with what kind of feeling I get from the song, like what kind of vibe it's giving off to me, and then I just feed off of that. And usually whenever I hear a beat, it gives me a certain like feeling, and then I go off that mood and I start to write based on that topic, and then that becomes a concept, and I just go off the head and I just write. And yeah, usually I write really quick and I just get the ideas and they just form together.
Okay, so while we're on the topic of songwriting process, so do you make tracks with the listener in mind, or more for a message you're trying to express? What's your number one goal? The listener or the message you're trying to express?
Again, it's a 50-50. For me, making the music is it's definitely self-satisfaction, and everything on top of that is definitely a bonus. Like if you do listen to it and you do relate, like I like the fact that I can relate to you, but in most cases I would say yes, the listener is in mind, and I do want to make something that's along the lines of what you want to hear, but at the same time it doesn't take away from my process where it's like I want to say what I want to say.
It's been 24 years, it's just my nature, boy. I said it's been 24 years.
So I've noticed the producers you had on Measure Twice, Cut Once. We're going to talk about the record in a second, but
yeah,
the producers you had on were Easy A and Nature Boy. They were like the most prominent producers there.
Yeah.
So how'd you meet Easy A and Nature Boy? What are they like? Who are they?
Easy A, basically, I met through high school. We go way back. I think I met him when I was 16, 17, and we always had this idea where we wanted to put something together. It was always a lack of resources back then. We were still young, and we couldn't really get much into the studio, and I was still writing. I always had about 100 Easy A beats on deck, like on my laptop or my hard drive, whatever, and I was just continuously writing, building, and he went to high school with me. We grew up together, and it's like together we both grew individually and collaboratively. So Yeah, I met him through high school, and we just grew up together, and we always knew that we'd be working together. And in terms of Nature Boy actually, a friend of mine had told me that there was a producer out there that she thought I'd be interested in working in. And funny enough, I had already heard of him, and my approach to him was basically through Facebook. I hit him up through social network, and I was like, you know, I'm doing this, like, do you think you'd want to be a part of it? And it took some time because Nature Boy had some artists that he was working with who, I guess they weren't on the same page. So it took a while to get Nature Boy on the team, but I sent him a few songs and I told him this is what I want to do with your stuff, and that was pretty much, that was the process right there, and he was with it, and he sent me a couple beats, I wrote to them, showed him what we were going to do, and then basically the team got together and we just went from there.
But when the shit gets deep, I close my eyes and I let it breathe, now let it breathe. If you puffing on trees, let it breathe. If you feeling this beat, let it breathe. I just count to 3, like 1 into the 2 and 2 into the 3, let it breathe.
Breathe is your first single and your first video for the album. So why did you choose that as your first single, and what does that song mean to you?
I remember when I received the instrumental for Breathe, I think it best suited my style. Like I said before, I have a very East Coast influenced sound, and just the beat itself kind of brought out that nature inside of me. Shout out to Nature Boy. It kind of brought out that nature inside of me, which was, it was the easiest approach. Like, it was easy for me to approach the kind of vibe that I was going for with that record, because I felt like it touched on a lot of real life experiences, basically just having, like, you know, just growing up and going through certain situations, like whether it's, you know, experimenting with things, and just I felt like it was the easiest record for me to make because it definitely defined my character, and it touched on a lot of experiences that I've been through and whatnot. And the reason that we chose that record was because personally I felt like that one came out the best. Like, not to take away from the other music that I have created, but that one on its own just had like such a strong vibe, and like it carried a lot of like character, and like it had a lot of definition in terms of Ginz, like my style and my delivery, and the way I want to rap, and like the way I want people to, you know, not necessarily define me or label me, but just to know that Ginz, what kind of person Ginz is.
And so eventually it all led up to your first album.
Yep.
You know, Measure Twice, Cut Once.
Yeah.
That was your first album. How was it like making that album? You know, the experience itself.
The process for Measure Twice, Cut Once was, I mean, it was a wild journey. It was definitely a crazy adventure. We had, we were just, it was the beat, it was the lyrics, it was the concept, and then it was just the whole process of connecting everything together and making sure that everything fit. It was definitely like a growing process for me, because I had written everything beforehand, and I had a lot of stuff ready beforehand. I had released a couple songs before that, and I felt like my first attempt at making music, I didn't really get out to the masses. I couldn't really put anything out that was tangible, so I had to measure it again and then cut it once. So that basically, it was like, it was definitely just it was an amazing adventure, and we just went from basically the ground up. We had a foundation that we thought would work, and we just approached track by track at the studio, and everything just came together at the end. Yo, it's your boy Ginz. You are now in tune to Word is Born and My Word is Bond. So one more time? One more time?
I think of you, dirty Vegas mama, my friends like you, wishing I